But what have you been saying about the issues trending? Obukola joins me now to walk through the streets of either X, Facebook, IG,
Hello
TikTok.
again, Coyote. You know, that viral video that trended on social media yesterday is back, you know, in the fore again today, with people reacting to, you know, a sort of development from the couple. But of course, you know, the back and forth between the ruling party and the PDP, you know, is also taking space from your thoughts this morning, particularly stemming from the back of the conversation with the PDP leader and, you know, a senior political correspondent yesterday on our sister program. And that's where we're starting from this morning. President Tinubu is the problem of the PDP. Not my words, not my words this morning. It's from leader of the party, Segun Shomi, and governorship candidate in the Ogun State election last year. He continues by saying he has no business taking Wike from our party and appointing him as minister. So what are you saying this morning about this statement from Mr. Shomi? Kenneth is the first user, and Kenneth says, is he saying that a member of the party has been removed? That's why the party doesn't have stamina. Is he trying to say the progress of the party lies on the shoulder of that one that has been removed? So there's no other person in the party that can make the party have stamina. And of course, Kennedy, there are so many questions in this space coming from the back of, you know, events leading to the presidential election last year. We could also ask the PDP, why was it unable to put its house in order such that the leadership crisis would have been stemmed and there would have been an agreement on where the presidential candidate of the party should come from? And if it was to come from this region of the party, then the national chairman should come from another region of the party. So, you know, it's easy to lay the blame of, you know, the crisis in the political party on one person, you know, because when you point one finger, you know, the four others are pointing back at you.
I really hope Nigerians are watching and are not taking this too seriously, or at least are not distracted by this, because at the end of the day, this is
quite instructive.
A party affair, strictly party affairs. This is just politicians. Ibanga says, how does, or I imagine meant to say, how is Wike's appointment a hindrance to PDP's progress and stability? Now, that's the statement by Bangade. How is Wike's appointment a hindrance to PDP's progress and stability? So, yeah,
good
who's
question.
going to answer that?
Chiben is the next user, and Chiben said, it's like politically destabilizing another party, making Wike to become disliked by his own party, causing enmity between them. Smart move.
There you go. So just in case you're wondering what was said, take a listen to what Mr. Shomi said yesterday about the issues within the party.
What factor do you think is at the center of this problem?
You want me to tell you? People would like to say Wike, but I'd rather say Governor President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
It's the problem of your party.
Absolutely. He had no business appointing our member into his cabinet without talking to us. He had no business. He had no business taking use of Wike from our party and appointing. He had no business. When Obasanjo wanted to form a government of national unity, he wrote to the elders of the party. But what did he do? He took one of us, put him in a strategic position, and suddenly the whole thing is complicated. Is it compulsory? If he wants our party to be okay, sack Wike and return him back to PDP and see whether the party will not get stamina and will not move fast.
So, yeah, he said that. So it basically means that the man is some sort of stamina to the PDP, and this has been said time and again. But as I said earlier on, don't take this too seriously. Okay, I think Nigerians should allow the politicians to do the politicking, and you focus on what you should focus on, the policies that come out of the politics. Does it work for you? If it doesn't, then approach that. Don't get involved. Politics is not a game for the weak.
True talk there. Should we go to the next talking point?
Yes. And we raised that earlier on. That video got a lot of people talking. The couple being assaulted by Nigerian Army Major General and aide for, in their words, overtaking their vehicle. And they're demanding a senior officer's dismissal, 150 million naira compensation. But We should know that the acting chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oloyede, has ordered an investigation into their alleged brutalization. So we're waiting for the outcome of that. Does that mean this demand by the lawyer is put on hold? Well, we're not sure. But let's take a look at what Nigerians have been saying about that.
Well, Stephen is the first user this morning, and Stephen says, fair enough. And while I condemn the action of the military officer and his boys, please let's take these precautions. Never overtake a bullion van being escorted by police vans. Never overtake a police patrol van except they give you right of way. Never overtake a military convoy. I don't know whether we should take this hook, line, and sinker, because right at the heart of this comment by this user is, where is the place of civil liberties? Where is the place of human rights, fundamental human rights? So if we say that we're in a democracy, this speaks of a citizen that is unable to stand by their rights. This speaks of a citizen that says, let's continue to live in fear, and that's totally unacceptable.
Sarbi has the next one saying, yes, compensation should be more than that, and let them know we are not in a military era. I've met a lot of military men, how gentlemanly they are. You almost not tell that they're military men. A lot of people have talked about the late Chief of Army Staff, how he's been a gentleman, and also this definitely leaves a sour taste in the mouth. So definitely this needs to be the bottom. We need to get to the bottom of it, as they say, to ensure that we don't see things like this happening again. Because seeing the images, come on, didn't look good at all.
At all. Well, the next user this morning is B, I believe.
Yeah.
You want to
I
take
took
that?
Sir B, so we can take Franklin. Yeah.
Franklin says, first of all, you shouldn't overtake a military convoy. There you go again. The psyche of the people. They could easily perceive you as a threat. Secondly, the Nigerian army is meant to protect and not brutalize the citizens. This is actually a bad act.
Okay, well, let's move on. We'll definitely stay on that story. By the way, we're giving you some more insight into it on the show this morning, and the comments made by the IGP. So we're very big on security on the show. But let's talk about the Jigawa tanker explosion. Yeah, remember, 209 dead, 99 injured, properties worth millions lost. That's according to a panel now. So a panel was raised to look into this. So they've come up with their recommendations. So we have this one from CEA Nigeria saying, may the souls of the departed rest in peace and quick recovery to all injured. It will be important to take a look at what the panel has to say about this, how to ensure that we don't have this again, because 209, Bukola. As of the last count, people were still quoting less than 200. A
lot less than 200
exactly.
as
so
of the
now
last
to
count.
see that 209 actually died.
Yeah, it's really a sad one, a huge tragedy of monumental proportions, losing 209 persons in a couple of days, and to what could have been avoidable. Andrew is the next writer, and Andrew says, it is very painful, but people have to learn to cherish their lives over death as well. A stone one sees cannot blind the person. If it does, the person needs to check himself or themselves, not the first, second, third, fourth, and people are not still learning.
So there you go. Our hearts with the families of those who have lost loved ones. But we need to do right by them and ensure that this does not happen again, either by orientation, by ensuring infrastructure is much better, enforcement as well from those who are meant to ensure that our roads are safe, and all of that. But let's move on to this one. Well, if you have a sweet tooth, right, then you might need to pay attention to this, as the FCCPC has uncovered substandard sugar in Nigerian markets. So let's just take the comment on this one. Rachel has the first one saying we need to support our local sugar industry and avoid substandard products. And that speaks to why we need to step up activities when it comes to standards, maintaining standards. This is food, right? Maybe you can drop the ball. We shouldn't drop the ball for other things, but because it is food, we must not drop the ball. So FCCPC, it's great that you have raised the alarm, but we need all the more details we can get. Where did we drop the ball? Those are the issues we also need to approach. so the Standards Organization of Nigeria, all the other people who are meant to ensure that these things don't get to the market. What exactly happened? We need answers.
Well, there are questions as to how the sugar is being determined to be substandard. And the FCCPC is in the defense of consumer rights, not the standardization of food and beverages. So it's an important question to ask.
Well, so it's consumer protection, really, and I think it's a collective work. So you can protect consumers by taking a look at the standard, or the quality of product they're getting, or the quality of service they're getting, whether or not they're getting what they really paid for. So you can say this
perhaps
is
it's as a result of the complaint of a particular consumer, because all of the details are not in at this particular point in time. But it's an important question to ask as well. And Kashama Dupe is asking also, how did it get into the country? What was SON and NAFDAC at the Nigeria Customs looking at?
Right. So the statement by the FCCPC says that it does not, that is illegally imported goods, so importation, we need to speak to that, says do not meet the mandatory vitamin A fortification requirements set by Nigerian authorities, potentially putting consumers at risk of blindness and other health complications. That's a statement from FCCPC's Director of Corporate Affairs, Ondaje Ejagu, says that smuggled from Brazil.
It leaves so many things to be desired.
Many questions.
Yeah, Adebayo says, what are their names so people can recognize the product? You people hide the names amid health. You cannot rather hide the name amid health hazard.
What names were mentioned actually in that statement signed by FCCP's Director of Corporate Affairs. But let's move on. We have quite a number of issues for you on the show this morning. Don't forget that trending video. How to get to the heart of the civil-military relationship and ensure that it is smooth, so people know what their responsibilities are. The statement made by the IGP. So there's other big issues in the news this morning. So stay with us right here. It's the Morning Brief. We'll be right back.